You do not need to have your whole life figured out right now. Not at 18, not at 21, and not at 30. Social media makes it seem like we all need to have a perfect plan, but in actuality, we're also trying to figure it out. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how in your 20s, it should be about growth, learning, and experience. And that's completely okay to not have all the answers. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is that it's okay to not have a plan. And under here, I have put like it's time, it takes time to find your career, success, and into relationships. And I really want to talk about that because I feel like, especially coming out of high school, even though you are like 19, you'll be going into your 20s, or currently, I'm only 21. But it is kind of understood that, like everybody doesn't have to go to college. College isn't for everybody. That's what I meant by, taking time to find your career. Some people go to trade school. Some people, want to be estheticians, barbers. Like, you don't have to go to college for everything. Like I said, there's trade school if you want to do like welding. There's just different things. Like, don't just automatically think that you have to go right into college because that's what everybody else is doing. Like, take time to find your career. Definitely when it comes to success, success is different. We all have different majors. We're all going to be having different jobs. So success is going to definitely look different for everybody. So once again, you shouldn't try to be like everybody else. And then even, when it comes into relationships, don't just, rush into a relationship. Know if you're ready to be with somebody, be with a partner. Like, just try to give out just trying to give out all these tips. And then for another thing is like, don't rush anything. Like I said, take your time. There's a lot of people I know who went to college for 1 year and then they dropped out, and then now they're in their dream career. So it's like stuff like that. Like, just take your time. I know some people go to college for 1 or 2 years and then now they're in the military. Like, I have two friends that went here for a year or two and they end up going to the military. So like like all of our journeys are going to be different. So like I said, it's okay to switch up the plan, to have a different plan, your plan to look different than everybody else. Like, it's completely okay. And then I was saying also, like I said, it's okay not to go to college. If you want to do something out the normal, it's okay. I just feel like the older generation, like our parents, they just automatically went to college. But I know nowadays it's more about, your experience and not really much of a degree. And so, yeah, try to be out the normal, do the stuff your way. And even if you don't have a plan, still take your time, find out what you do, find out what you love, and it's completely okay to not have a plan. And that's what I want to say for number one. And so for number two, I want to say that allow yourself to grow. I feel like, even me, I have to continue to remind myself that, I am 20, I am only 21. Like, it's okay if I mess up. It's okay. For example, like I just said before, it's okay if you don't have a plan. You have to switch your plan. It's okay if you make a mistake. Something goes wrong. Something didn't go the way you want it. Like, we have plenty of life to live. Okay, it's different if you're 80 and we're just trying to fix our life, but it's like you're 21. We have so much time. So, don't wait and waste all the time, but it's like we still have so much time ahead of us. So don't try to rush anything. And then I was saying that I got this from my mom, but she always says that if in those times when you make mistakes or something goes wrong, try to always have something to become a life lesson. So if it's relationship breakups, friendship breakups, breakups in general, like anything, try to make it a life lesson. Like, here I would say, definitely in my 20s, I definitely went through like it wasn't really a tough, but it was like a weird little friendship breakup. But for so long, I would just look at that like if it was this big problem, big issue. But at the end of the day, both me and the other person, we're both young. We both might have made mistakes. We both might have misunderstood a situation. But at the end of the day, it's completely okay. We're in our 20s. We're young. This is the time to make mistakes. Like I said, you want to make the mistakes when you're 50, 60, 70, 80. But it's like, it's okay to make the mistakes. We have all this life to live. Like I said, try to make everything a life lesson. Even if you're a relationship, the relationship might not have been the best, but how can you be better in the next relationship? You know what I mean? Like, what I take from that friendship, it might not, I might have misunderstood some things. I might have went through some things wrong. I might have interpreted some things wrong. But now, because of that previous friendship, I can now be better in the next friendship and the friendships to come. So like I said, try to make everything a life lesson. learn from experience. Like I said, it's just okay. Like I feel like I'm gonna repeat that all throughout this video. It's completely okay, but try to make everything a life lesson. Something goes on in your college, your class. Try to see, okay, because like I said, we're grown now. We're adults. We can't keep going, calling our mom, asking our mom this, asking our parents this. We have to be able to figure out things on our own. So once again, wherever you're going through, wherever it happens, just try to understand it, try to make it a life lesson, and try to be better for the next lesson and for the next experience. And that's what I wanted to say for number two. And so for the third one, I want to say is stop comparing yourself. Just like how I said in the intro, social media, I don't think people realize, especially being on social media, have to remember that like the apps and stuff and the algorithms, they're just gonna glorify, what you're looking at. That's how the For You page works. Wherever you like is what you're gonna see. That's how Instagram works. That's how your suggested works on YouTube. That's how Reels, Shorts work. Like wherever you admire, wherever you like, you're constantly going to see that. But at the same time, social media is always going to glorify the best of things. Like you only see people's best pictures, best moments, best videos, best clips, but you don't see what happens behind the doors. You don't see the ugly, you don't see, the hard times, the struggle. That's why I say don't ever compare yourself to social media, especially within your 20s. Like we all have to give ourselves to grow. And because most of us are young, we are not going to post those struggles. We don't post those hard things. Most of us are going to only post the nice things because that's what is nice to look at. That's what the aesthetic is. That's what's pleasing. So don't always just go based off of social media. Two, I want to say that, like I said, in reality, not everyone has it together, even though it could look like it. Like there's times where I've met someone and I have had a whole perception of them in my head. I thought they were this way, that way, and they weren't. So that just proves that social media is not real, and that it's just all about our perception. And then once again, like I just said, that remember that we're in our 20s. We just started. Everyone's journey is different. Your journey is not going to look like someone else's. It might not be as easy. It might not be as smooth. It might be harder than someone else's. But at the end of the day, our journey is different. We have to be able to embrace that individualism and that uniqueness within our own journey. Because at the end of the day, it's our story to tell, not nobody else's. If we all had the same story, then we would be nobody. But that's the reason why we have to be able to become our own individual, our own being. And we have to be able to take pride in that. Take pride in your journey, fall in love with the process, take pride in the struggle, everything. Because at the end of the day, when you get a chance to tell your story, it's going to be your story to tell. And that's one to say for number three. And so for the fourth one, I want to say that success is not linear. You probably could have inferred that through all the other points. But like I said, we all are going to be in different careers, different jobs, different fields. Like, for example, when I first came to college, I was computer engineering, then I went to electrical, then I went to IT. You know what I mean? I didn't stay with my same major. So it's okay if you want to switch majors, if you want to, like I said, be in different friend groups, be different friends with people. I know some people transferring colleges, like just it's okay. So like I said, be different. Our success it's not really determined on who we're with or who we're dating or what major we have. Our success is within ourselves, and it's not linear. It's not going to be like anybody else. Some people they take the trade school route. Some people take the entrepreneurship route. Some people take the college route. Some people take the military route. Like all our paths are very different. So it's completely okay to change, do something else, not be the normal. Also, I want to say that um, to be able to switch your mind up when it comes to failure, like if you accidentally mess up on something, like I said with the friendships, try to always think, okay, like I didn't do this right or I didn't do this good. How can I now apply this new experience, this new learned lesson into something else? Don't just be sitting there pouting in your sorrow. Oh, I suck. I'm bad at this, and just give up. Because at the end of the day, it's like, even if you come back to that task or that obstacle, you still got to get over it, or the obstacle's still going to be there. And then I wanted to take it back. If you guys watched the book talk, it was a book called The Psychology of Money. And it really changed my mindset when it came to failure, because it said, I don't have the perfect quote, but it said, like, smart people think they're not smart because of a failure. But at the end of the day, they just got the short end of the risk and reward, like, factor or machine. And to basically explain that is that sometimes we have to take those risks in order to be successful or to get what we want. But at the same time, we have to be able to understand that it's still a risk. You're taking a risk out in something. It isn't a guarantee that you're going to come out on top of that. But at the end of the day, you still try to put in that effort. You still try to be different. You still try to go for it, and that is what matters. And that's why I want to say that success is not linear, because some of us do fail. Some of us don't have the same job. Some of us do choose different schools, different colleges. So it's just about like your perception and just how life flows. Like everything is different. Nothing is truly determined because we're humans. One thing about us humans, we love to change. We don't like something to be the same all the same time. So yeah, just it's okay to be different. Don't stress. Don't worry. You're in your 20s. And that's all I want to say for number 4. And so for number 5, I wanted to say that learn to enjoy where you're at now. I remember seeing a TikTok video. I don't know if I'll put it in here, but it was like this old lady. It was like viral. And she was like, just take a look at yourself. Be lucky how you look. Be lucky how you are. Just be lucky for where you're at now, because one thing social media has definitely taught me that it could always be worse. Like I always sit there and think about, like, for example, like think about people who have like disabilities and stuff. Like, how hard it would be, if you were blind, if you were deaf, if you couldn't walk, if you're paralyzed, like, and to think that they have to do that every day and they can still smile, they can still be encouraged, they can still be motivated, truly means that we have no reason to, have no excuses in that. We have to be able to take pride in where we're at now. We have to be able to have joy where we're at now. We have to be able to just love the position that we're at now. Because one, like I said before, it's the growth. We're still growing. This is still our journey. We haven't stopped. We haven't made it to the end. So it's okay to, continue to progress. Then I was saying that, it's okay to take a step back and breathe. I feel like when we're always trying to be on the next task, always trying to be on the next life lesson or the life experience, and we just keep going, it's like we can, burn ourselves out because we're not taking joy and pride on where we're at now. You know what I mean? It's like you could be doing really good in life, but because you're always chasing that next this, next that, it's like you just achieve one of your best goals, your best achievements, but because you're so focused on the next, you didn't miss what you wanted to achieve. You didn't have this goal for a year or two, but because you're so focused on the next, you didn't miss it. And so just stuff like that. And then always, like I said, yeah, it can just always make you miss stuff. So we have to be able to take pride and joy at where we're at, because, you'll just really step back and be like, wow, like I really be doing it. The same thing with me. I had mentioned this all the time on my YouTube, and even someone commented, shout out to you, but she was like, thank you, Cameron, for these videos. They're nice. We are watching. And it's simple things like that. I would sit there and be thinking, nobody's watching because I don't have the views. Nobody's doing this. No one's commenting this. They're not interacting with this. But it's like they are. You know what I mean? It just takes time. It's okay for the views to be low now because we're still growing. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm not at the final stage. I'm not at the subscriber count I want. That's why we got to keep going. That's why the journey has to continue. So, but yeah, don't give up. Keep going. We're in our 20s. It's going to be hard. We're trying to figure things out. At the end of the day, we are the new adults, so we can't just be running back to mama and daddy. We have to figure out. We have to become an adult. We have to be able to take pride and joy in whatever we're doing and wherever we're at. And that's what to say for number 5. And yeah, so that concludes today's video. I literally made this a couple of hours ago in the dining hall. So hopefully you guys understood this. I know I'm only 21, so I'm not like 30 or 40. So I don't really truly have that wisdom, but I try to talk to someone who might be 20 or someone might be entering their 20s, because still the stuff I know now, oh, I wish I would have known when I was 18 or 19, going into my 20s and stuff. So, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Continue to wish me luck on finals. My first final is upcoming this Thursday, or whenever this will be posted. It might be posted Wednesday or Thursday. So wish me luck for finals. I'm going to continue to try to keep posting, over the summer and for the rest of the semester. But like I said, wish me luck on finals. Wish anybody luck on finals. And to close out, it's okay to not have everything figured out. We are just starting. We're in our 20s, and it's okay. It's time to grow. It's time to learn, and it's time to experience. And yeah, continue to like, comment, subscribe, road to 600 subs, and I'm gonna see you on the next video.